There are three ways you can use AB Advanced Decoder. You can use it in auto mode, you can use it in speakers mode, or you can use it in spots mode. Each of these modes is useful for a completely different type of thing, meaning that AB Advanced Decoder is a really useful plugin for doing plenty of things. In this video, we're going to explore the auto mode and what it can do for you whenever you're working with live audio. My name is Alejandro and we are the Audio Brewers. So, what is auto mode? Well, I have created auto mode because every time I was doing videos for my YouTube channel or for whenever I was doing sound for short films or something, I was using this shotgun microphone. But the problem with the shotgun microphone, as you had seen in our first video, is that whenever the talent gets out of the axis of the microphone, you cannot grab their voice. So you always have to be focusing on where their mouth is. And whenever you have a scene with a couple of actors or maybe 3 actors or something, you either had to have a couple of shotgun microphones pointing at each other mouth, or you had to be just juggling between where you want to point to. Well, you have an Ambisonics microphone. An Ambisonics microphone is always recording a 3-dimensional sound field, so why not exploiting that so as to make sure that you record always everything and then automatically you select where the voice is coming from. And this is exactly what the auto mode is about. What the auto mode is it just scans the whole 3-dimensional signal and then it just grabs where the loudest audio is coming from and then it steers the focus of the signal towards there. So right now you can hear me in auto mode, meaning that it doesn't matter if I get out of axis. There is no axis in Ambisonics. The Ambisonics microphone is always going to capture my voice because it's always going to be focusing on my voice, because my voice right now is here and there is not much going on in my studio because it's really silent. I'm gonna show you a real life example a little bit later, but first I want to go through each of the settings of the auto mode so that you can just appreciate what it can do for you whenever you're working with live audio. As I told you before, auto mode is more or less like an automatic boom operator, so it's really useful whenever you want to track audio because it's not printing anything on the audio itself. It's just processing the signal and it's just showing you where the loudest part of this 3-dimensional sphere is, and it doesn't matter if you move, it's going to move with the signal. However, you are still recording the Ambisonics signal, meaning that in post you can either continue to use the auto mode or you can use a couple of beams to grab the couple of voices of the couple of actors that are in the scene or something like that, or depending on what you're using it for, of course. So here I have the settings of the auto mode. First of all, you can see here that this is a first order Ambisonics microphone. It's the Soyuz 013, but you can see that my voice is really defined. That is because I have this button enabled here. This button is our internal upscaler, meaning that even though I'm recording a first order Ambisonics signal, I am always upscaling the signal to 7th order and then I'm processing the decoding algorithm. Here you have the button to toggle the auto mode. If you disable the auto mode, you're just gonna go to either spot or speaker mode. Right now we want it enabled, so this is enabled. Then we have this button here, which is the voice button. Is a button that I have created because sometimes whenever you are shooting, the very loud noise that is actually grabbing the attention of the algorithm can be something that is not a voice, not a human voice. Maybe a truck passing by, maybe a motorcycle or something like that. So with this mode, I'm just narrowing down the frequency that is being scanned to something that is voice friendly. So if you have a very loud low frequency noise or a very loud high frequency noise, this is going to be focusing in the range of the 1 kilohertz, which is where the voice is loudest. So when you enable this, you are sure that you are trying to focus a human voice, and when you disable it, it's a little bit more free. It just grabs whatever is the loudest, right? So I am enabling because this is my voice. And then you have the range control. The range is the tolerance at which the signal is steering its attention to. So right now I have a 12 decibel range, meaning that right now I'm speaking, and if there was another actor talking within the 12 decibel range, it will be mixing it with my voice, right? So the lower the range, the more strict this beam is, the more narrow this beam is. The bigger the range, the more tolerant it is. So the more sound is going to be grabbing from the signal. And then you have the lag. The lag is, of course, how soft you want, whatever is out of the focus is eliminated from the signal. So the lag can be something immediate, or it can be something really lazy and really slow. And finally, you have a gate here that I have created, which is the threshold. The threshold is literally a three-dimensional gate, which means that whatever is below this threshold is just going to be completely ignored. It's not going to even be analyzed by the auto mode. These are all the controls the auto mode has. They're few because I wanted to make it as easy as possible. And you have some extra controls here that can be quite useful depending on what you're doing. You have the CPU mode, which can be ultra mode, or it can be light mode. In light mode, you are skipping the upscaling algorithm, and the algorithm of processing the audio inside the plugin is a little bit lighter on the CPU. So if you're using a lot of instances of the plugin or something like that, you can just enable light CPU mode. And then you have the monitor mode. The monitor mode is going to offer you 0 latency, but it's just going to throw the whole decoding algorithm into the audio thread. So if you are using multiple instances of the plugin, I really suggest you do not use the monitor mode. But if you're using one, maybe you can just enable the monitor mode, and you can just monitor with 0 latency. These are the controls pretty much of the auto mode. There's nothing else. It's really easy to use. Just pretty much enable the auto mode, set the 3 controls that you have, and just go and do whatever you have to do. Now let's see a real life example of this working. So I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind me there's a very busy avenue with a lot of noise going on. Above me, there are a couple of microphones, just as if it were an ordinary shooting environment. One of the microphones is an ordinary shotgun microphone, and the other one is an Ambisonics microphone using the AB Advanced Decoder. And this video is just to test how AB Advanced Decoder can help you if you were to use an Ambisonics microphone in a shooting in an outdoors environment. So first of all, I'm just gonna make a little bit of silence so that I can get a threshold of a floor noise. And with this floor noise, I can use it in AB Advanced Decoder if I wanted to use its automatic function so that it can grab my voice. However, if you were to use the manual function, you can also do it. And the cool thing is that because the Ambisonics microphone grabs a 360 degrees acoustic sphere, my voice is always going to be on axis, whereas a shotgun microphone is extremely directional, meaning that, as you can see, it has always to point towards the source of the sound, and if I were to leave its axis, it will lose my voice. So it's another advantage of using an Ambisonics microphone. You're always recording everything, and then manually in the post or automatically with AB Advanced Decoder, you can grab where the voice is coming from, either from one talent or from multiple talents around the microphone. And this is how AB Advanced Decoder can help you shooting in an outdoors environment. So you noticed how I was shooting this video on the streets with an avenue behind, and while I decreased the threshold, I was able to get rid of whatever was happening behind, and the auto mode was still focusing on my voice. And this is the really cool thing about AB Advanced Decoder in comparison to a shotgun microphone. So let me just compare a little bit how the shotgun microphone sounded in this recording and how AB Advanced Decoder sounds, because I have captured both these sounds here. I have here my shotgun microphone. So I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind me there's a very busy avenue with a lot of noise going on. And now this is AB Advanced Decoder. I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind me there's a very busy avenue with a lot of noise going on. So you can see that the results are really close. However, the advantage of the Ambisonics microphone is that it doesn't matter if you are moving towards any side, you're always going to be on focus. Right now, if I were to move and get out of the axis of the shotgun microphone, my voice will be out of focus. However, you can also steer the focus manually if you wanted to do so, from getting out from the auto mode and using the spots mode, and like that, grab the sound that is happening that is not my voice, for example. So let's just disable the auto mode and show you how I can manually focus on my voice. I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind, or maybe you want to focus in something that is not my voice. I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind me there's a very busy avenue with a lot of noise going on. Above me there are a couple of microphones just as if it were an ordinary shooting environment. One of the microphones is an ordinary shotgun. So you can see that like that you can build your sound the way you want, or maybe you can just grab a stereo sound of whatever is happening that is not my voice, so that you can match it with the recording of the voice in a stereo fashion. So I'm going to do that. Let's just grab, I don't know, something from the left side with a bigger beam, and something from the right side with a bigger beam as well. I'm sitting here in an outdoors environment, and behind me there's a very busy avenue with a lot of noise going on. Above me there are a couple of microphones. And like that, you can literally use our plugin and one microphone to grab maybe just the dialogue and putting it in the center, and then grab whatever is happening on the left and on the right and putting it on the sides to create a completely realistic stereo signal of whatever is going on. Additionally, you could create more beams to create a 5.1 signal from one microphone, or you could even create a Dolby Atmos signal from one microphone, because you could even grab spots from whatever is happening above the microphone. This is what we talk about in our spots mode video. Right now, this was the auto mode video. I hope you find the AB Advanced Decoder in auto mode useful. If you have any questions or comments, just don't hesitate to leave them below, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers!